The middle class in Canada has completely collapsed, but don't just believe me. Check this out for yourself. So this is the Stats Canada from the last census report. This shows you the total income before taxes and the distribution of percentiles. Now, most people would think that middle class means that, oh, I just make in the mid-range of incomes here. Like, I'm just drawing the halfway line. That's middle class. But that is not the case. That is not true at all. Because really, the way the middle class is defined is by your lifestyle, right? Like, it's not just about having the middle of the stream income. It's about being able to own a home or aspiring to or saving up to, about being able to own a car, about being able to have the extra cash flow to save for your retirement and save for your children's education, the ability to take vacations every single year, and typically like the ability to have a job that pays for you to do those things. So really that's how the middle class is truly defined. It's not about being, your median or average income stream. So let's take a look then at how the middle class has actually collapsed in Canada. Because according to the average house price, let's just start with the first one for a second, owning a home or aspiring to. The average house price in Canada has, yes, declined, by, let's call it 10%, 20%, but the average home price right now is over $700,000 Canadian. That's the average home price. So your middle class family should be able to buy that home, or at least be aspiring to, in saving money on top of their rent in order to save up for the down payment for that home. Let's look at how affordable a $700,000 home is in Canada. Now let's say you were able to save $100,000, right? So you have a mortgage amount of $600,000 roughly. If you have no debt payments, which means no car payments, no student loan payments, no line of credits, no outstanding leases or personal loans or credit card payments or spouse or child support payments. So if you have no debt, no monthly debt payments, well, you are probably in the 1%. But let's just say, hypothetically, you don't have any debt payments, you get a mortgage of $600,000, the required income that you need is $147,000 in order to qualify for the average home in Canada. Now that's insane, because when we look at the CRA report here, well, if you are under 30, you need to be beyond the top 1%. You need to be beyond the 99th percentile. You need to be in the top 0.1% of income earners to just afford the average home. That's insane. Let's look at the 30-year-old groups. In the 30-year-old group, you need to be in the top 5%, the top 3 to 5% of income earners in order to qualify for just an average home in Canada. God forbid you're making that salary in Toronto, or God forbid you make $150,000 in Vancouver. This is absolute ludicrous. And I'm curious, just for people watching this channel, let me know in the comments, completely anonymous, what range is your salary in and what is your age? I'm super curious to see how people are actually faring and whether or not you can afford an average home. But let's look in the 40-year-old group. 40-year-old group, you need to be, again, in the top 5%. In the top 5% for sure. Maybe some people will be lucky. You might be able to squeeze in the top 10% in order to buy the average home in Canada. And that's the same with the 50-year-olds. You need to be in the top 10% at least in order to afford just the average home. So that comes before owning a car, saving for your retirement, and your children's education, taking vacations every single year. All of this on top of it is $3,000 per month that you need to be saving for car savings or payments, for saving for your retirement, for saving for your children's education, and saving up money to take vacations. I mean, it's no wonder why Canadians' household debt has just skyrocketed, because people cannot afford vacations. They're going on their credit cards or line of credits. People are not saving for retirement. Retirement savings below 50 years old is basically close to zero. And I mean, at least from my perspective in my circles, I seem to be the only people saving for my children's education. And, it's not a ton, but a lot of it is gifted from grandparents And at least we do have our RESPs on track to, provide their education. But I'm in the rare exception here. Not many people in my network have RESPs for their children yet. So that's absolutely insane. And to put this really into perspective, let's say you make $140,000. Let's see how much income you actually take home here. So $140,000, your personal income tax calculator in Canada. Your after-tax income, best case scenario, you live in, where would it be here? Looks like BC is your best case scenario. You're going to walk away with $109,000 after tax. Now let's divide that by 12 to figure out what the monthly is. So that's $9,000 per month in after-tax income. And keep in mind, about $3,500 would be going to a mortgage. So that's almost half of your income right there. And then on top of that, you want to have house insurance. You probably with this is not 20% actually, so you need CMHC mortgage insurance on top of this. You also gonna have to pay for utilities, and then you are easily looking at, coming in close to $5,000, probably $4,500-ish, depending on what your home looks like. And that's really 50% of your income is going to just housing there. And so you are then left with, $4,500 a month for food, for your retirement, for just like spending shit, like buying clothes, for your children's education, for paying off your debt, like if you have student loans or any sort of other debt. How are Canadian families surviving? And the answer is in this chart right here. The answer is they're not, all right? The answer is Canadian families in the middle class has been completely destroyed by the cost of living growing and by incomes not raising at all. Because the reality is you do not have a middle class if you have to be in the top 5% to afford the average home. It should be around 50%, ideally a little bit less. Like it should be that you can make essentially middle of the row income, like, top 50 percentile here, which would be the average. You see this white circle here, this is the average. The average is around 76, just less than $70,000 here. So the average salaries right now in Canada, let's see how much they actually can afford. We're going to go to maximum mortgage. So gross annual income, let's put it at 70. And monthly debt payments is 0. Your maximum mortgage is $285,000. Go find me a home in that range, please. Go find me a single family home in this range. Please do. It's probably like somewhere in the middle of nowhere in Saskatchewan. There's like 2 shacks that are like 800 square feet. And of course, you're not going to get a job anywhere there either. So the middle class is completely destroyed. And it's honestly shocking. And that really makes, honestly, I think the only solution for Canadians to get ahead is with entrepreneurship. I'm a firm believer in entrepreneurship. And if you want to see my marketing masterclass, you can use the link down below this video where I will link you to my marketing workshop where I help entrepreneurs grow their business. You can watch it if you want and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.